know you wanna be somebody, even if you gotta leave somebody. Yes, I'm hurt, yes, I'm dead. Most things that I don't wanna say. I won't be around while you change.
Hey you guys, welcome back to Taylor XO, or welcome to Taylor XO if you're a new subscriber. So y'all, let's get into this video now. Y'all know I've been kind of doing a little repeat of the Jazzy videos because, you know, the girl really hasn't been putting out too much content, and y'all know that it's always the same content with Jazzy. Views are going down. I mean, at this point, reactors are almost getting more views than her at this point. And the type female that she is, you know, she doesn't care as long as somebody's still watching her channel, as long as she's still getting somewhat of a check. But she has no motivation, no drive in her, no nothing to really build her channel, to grow her channel, to do different things, do different content. You know, people have been telling her for years the content they've been wanting to see, and she has never ever took it into consideration and tried to change around her channel for the better. You know, quit the drama, quit all the stuff that goes on with the kids, the abuse, the neglect, and so on and so on. So, you know, I don't really care at this point. You know, people say that people pick on this girl, that she's the only mom that gets talked about. But, you know, at this point, I think she's one of the only mothers that willingly sees everything and just blatantly ignores everything and still comes on live and is so bothered by her kids and just so miserable. And the only time you ever see her crack a smile is when a man is around her. And, you know, that pisses a lot of people off because at the end of the day, you know, there is a lot of people that would love to have children. You know, there is so many people out here that would take these kids and treat them how they're supposed to be treated. And she just takes it for granted because she's so wrapped up into having a man by her side that she doesn't really care if her kids are around her. In fact, she just wants them gone. So, you know, I really thought, since she only gets these kids on weekends, y'all know Hannah is currently having the kids all summer for the whole week, and then Jazzy just gets them on weekends, which I just think is completely ridiculous, especially being that this girl just sits at her house all day and she sits around. And, you know, that's on Hannah. At the end of the day, I don't know if Hannah and Philip have some type of agreement about the kids. I don't know if Philip wants the kids going out of the house for reasons of, you know, the abuse and whatever's going on between Jazzy and Chris. But it's definitely giving that Philip wants those kids out of the house for a reason, because I just don't think that, you know, Philip would want Hannah to be dealing with all those kids like that just for no reason, especially when their mother's at home. So it's definitely giving that there's some reason that Philip always wants these kids with Hannah. He never wants them with Jazzy. And who knows if Jazzy calls up Philip and asks, you know, to watch the kids, which I wouldn't be, you know, surprised if she did. You know, she strikes me as a type that makes any and every excuse to get Philip to come pick up the kids because she doesn't want to be bothered. So y'all know I did a video of this past weekend with her. She was with Chris and she was all grins, all smiles. They were going out to eat. They were enjoying their family time with just the one child. And she even went on TikTok to make this TikTok video, and she was basically explaining how, you know, you're not supposed to let a child interrupt the fact that you still need to date your partner. And despite, you know, even if you have to take your child out, y'all, let's just get into this clip because I don't want to explain it. When I have the clip, I can show y'all. So let's get into the TikTok and then we'll talk about it.
For sure, we is not letting our child stop us from dating each other. Look, we are going to go out and have lunch together with Stinkabug. He's so stinking cute. But we just decided to have a little date day and enjoy each other's time. Don't let the fact that you have a kid stop you from dating your man. Go out, date him, take the baby with you.
So y'all, that was the TikTok she posted, and I guess that was the TikTok that she did the day that they went to the park and they went to that Mexican restaurant when she was on YouTube Live. You know, a lot of people were saying, like, it's just the fact that this girl always leaves out those other 4 kids. Like, sis, you don't just have one child that you're obligated to take on this date with your supposed man. Like, sis, the man doesn't care about these dates. You call them dates, but to him, they are just typically going out to eat with somebody he decided to have a child with. I don't think that he considers any of these dates. And if they are such regular dates and you constantly just have this one child and you always want to remember to date this man and y'all just want to make so much time and keep this relationship so fresh and new. But sis, he only comes around here and there. And even, let's just say, if you're not filming the dates, we know that Jazzy always wants to make it a point to show that she's going out, that she's spending time with her man. So sis, why don't you show this, often? You don't make sure to date, because we don't ever see these dates. We only see him when he decides to come around here and there, and he decides to just happen to want to go out to eat that day, because we know, unless you're taking him out to eat, or he's getting something out of the deal, like some money, or I'm sure a payment for his car or something, I don't think he likes to be around you, sis. But that really wasn't even the whole point of it, because at the end of the day, she still tried to make it seem like she is just this mother to one child, and that is the only child that she's obligated to take out. Like, sis, you have 5 kids. So instead of just saying, just take this one child out, make sure you would say that you have 5 kids that you have to take out too. And it's just so crazy how this girl is really trying to switch the narrative now and try to paint like she is just this mother of one. Like, sis, you're not a mother of one, you're a mother of 5. And just because your kids are gone for the summer doesn't mean that they're totally forgotten. You still have 4 other kids that are obligated to be included in whatever you say that you have kids, they deserve to be included in, because you did birth 4 other kids, not just that one child. And it just is so trifling that she documents this stuff, puts this stuff on YouTube to where these kids will be able to go back and see that their mother was trying so hard to just portray that she just had one child. So let's fast forward on to this live and get into this live, because she, I guess, went on live this past weekend and she titled it Hood Morning, which is just, I don't understand what was the point in naming that Hood Morning, especially when your kids are there for the weekend and whatever. So, I specifically put the the picture that y'all see, because this girl had kill me now. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be dealing with these kids. I just want my man and our son here. And she just had this look on her face like she just wanted to go in bed, lay down, shut the door, and not worry about those kids or what they were doing. And she even made it a point to say, oh, I had to get up and make this breakfast because I know these kids, I'm gonna just make sure that they're set for the day. Like, sis, a big breakfast does not determine whether or not a child's gonna be more or less hungry throughout the day. You could wake up, make a child a big breakfast, and an hour later they're hungry for a snack. So just because you make these big meals that are supposedly big to you, sis, they're not meals they're not meals big enough to hold a child over just for a whole entire day. So sis looked like she was so just pissed off and mad that she had to wake up and cook for the 4 kids. And you would think a typical mother would be happy to wake up on the weekend, see their kids, make them a nice breakfast, enjoy the day, but not her. She made it very, very known that she did not want to be there. She did not want to deal with it. And, I'm sure the kids, sensed that she was irritated and mad, but they're kids at the end of the day and they don't really know any better. And of course, they're not going to say anything. And, the kids were playing around, laughing, screaming, thinking that the whole time their mother genuinely wants to see them, and they haven't seen their mother in a week, and they were happy to probably see her. I mean, despite whatever Jazzy may do to them, kids don't necessarily, they may grow up to dislike their mother, but for the most part, it's very hard to get a child to dislike their mother like that, to where they don't want nothing to do with them, they don't want to be around them. So, at the end of the day, these kids still try to show her love and still try to be happy around her. And you can tell that, they sense something. Especially the older ones. And just, I feel like specifically Aiden really gets to her very badly. I feel like it wouldn't even be so bad if she just had the girls, but I just feel like specifically Aiden gets under her skin and she just doesn't want him around. And we're going to get into this clip because she was super irritated with Aiden. It's just like every time you see an interaction with her, with this little boy, it's always her just wanting him out of her face, nowhere near her. She don't want to hear him, nothing. So let's get into this clip and then we'll talk about it.
No, my boys. Aiden, I can see you. Okay. Legend.
So y'all could clearly hear in that clip, I don't even think that that was Aiden screaming, but it was, and y'all know it's always Legend. Legend is always screaming from the top of his lungs, but somehow she always manages to bypass Legend and always get on Aiden for what he's doing. So y'all can just see it's written all over her face. She's rolling eyes when somebody's making a noise, or she's rolling her eyes when one of the kids talk, scream. Like, sis, is it that bad? You should be way more than used to having these 5 kids around or 4 kids around, especially being Philip was gone for 4 years and you so-called said you had no help. So I really don't understand how she's not able to ever handle, especially the 4 kids, when she primarily had them by herself for most of the time because Philip had been locked up since the twins were almost just born. So I'm not understanding why she's never ever able to handle these kids, but then she primarily is always by herself with them. I mean, Chris is not even there. So you would think that she'd be used to this, but it's just, I think now that Hannah is taking the kids so much at this point, Jazzy just doesn't want to be bothered with them. And it's going to get to the point that when the kids do come back and Hannah and Philip aren't able to take them, because y'all know that Philip does have a warrant that is, pending for him. And it is said that he's going to be getting at least 6 months of jail time for it. So, sis, what if Philip does get locked up and Hannah says, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to watch him. That's your responsibility. I have stuff to do. What if Hannah gets a job? I feel like it's going to get even worse over there with the kids there, because she's so used to having them gone that when they do get there, they're going to get on her nerves so bad and she just can't even deal with it. And she's even now complaining about Legend, saying that she's tired of him screaming, tired of him acting up. So slowly but surely, all 5 of them, I know a lot of people try to say that she does show favoritism to Legend, which she does. I mean, in the way that she does take him out more, she does take him out to eat more. But all around, I feel like, Legend's time is coming, and Legend will be at the same level Aiden is at with her, with the annoyance, with everything. She don't want to deal with him. She don't want to feed him. So we will see. But, I know a lot of people do say, which I see it myself, she does show favoritism. But I feel like in a way she is obligated to, because Chris does live there. Chris does come back to check on what's going on. And she doesn't want, I guess, Chris to feel as though she's neglecting his son like she does the other 4. So let's get into this other clip, y'all, and then we're going to wrap this video up, because, y'all, it is just so repetitive, and it's just so heartbreaking to see how she treats these kids. And just to know that, she willingly doesn't mind one in there, but then the other 4 come that were there way before Legend. She doesn't even want them kids in their own house. And it's, she started mentioning how she was going to cut the bacon into half to make it more to feed the kids. Like, sis, those kids are the primary reason you're getting those food stamps, the over 1,000 a week or over 1,000 a month. The PEBT says, why aren't them kids allowed to eat their own damn food stamps? Why is Chris in there? Chris never has to get his steak cut up in half or get strips of steak when he makes his steak and buys his meat. So why do the kids have to get pieces of bacon split in half because you want to save more stamps for Chris to go out and buy his meat so he can make sure to come back to you? And then the kids have to figure it out with the 2 little small pieces of bacon. It's just mind-blowing that these kids aren't even there all weekend. Even on the weekend, you make it an issue to feed them. This is pancakes and bacon. A cheap breakfast, bacon is a little expensive. But at the end of the day, sis, you have food stamps. Your man works overtime. You should have more than enough money to go out and buy 6 packs of bacon if you want to. These kids are going all summer. You're getting EBT for them, and you're still acting like it's an issue to feed them just the 2 days that they're there. It's sickening, and I really, really hope that somebody at this point tries to get this girl's food stamps took, because she's clearly not using them to feed any of the 5 kids in there. Maybe Legend, but primarily she's feeding that big bum in there. So let's get into this other clip, y'all, and we'll talk about it.
Oh, mama, what?
Yeah.
This is so big.
Hey, y'all get out the kitchen. Y'all get out. I don't want nobody getting wrong.
Bro, mama, I'm gonna drop that. That is so big.
Hey, Legend, move.
Hey, Bentley, you move. Stop arguing, bro.
Legend. No, get him out.
So y'all saw again how irritated this girl was just to have those kids around, to have to feed them. She just looked like she wanted to rush, get it done, so she didn't have to be in the kitchen feeding them no more. And, you know, as always, when she's got to be in the kitchen feeding the kids, that's when she's the most miserable of the day. And usually, you know, for a mother, typically a great mother, that will be the happiest point of the day because you're getting your children's belly full. You know, they're eating. You're glad to cook them a good meal. But not Jazzy. She always, you know, always is miserable and just so mad to have to do the basics for her babies. But, you know, people were commenting and she deleted a lot of comments and she even ended up turning off the comments. So y'all are not able to see it anymore, but I'm sure LSA caught a lot of the comments. And some people had to say, you know, you really can't stand the forgotten four. Somebody said you were so happy when Hannah had the kids and it was you and Chris and his son. It's not enough that you only have the kids a few days in the week. If you had it your way, they'd be gone for good. Now Chris is gone and you're mean mugging and depressed, and they only go places if Hannah takes them. Otherwise, they're stuck in the house all day with you. It's disgusting that your kids don't make you happy. And somebody else said, damn, you really hate the Davis extra four, don't you? When you're just with the baby, you're smiling and talking to him. Why can't these babies get the same love? And I totally agree with everybody in the comments. It's so weird how she can easily get on the floor and interact with Legend and play with him, or at least fake do it for the camera. I don't know whether she's fake doing it or not. She's still doing it. But when it comes to those other four babies, you don't even want to be bothered with making a meal for the kids, let alone sitting down, playing with them, interacting with them, showing them love. You know, you don't see them all week. You would think that she'd be hugging them, kissing them, you know, just so happy. But she is just so mad and disgusted that she has to be taking care of these kids. And, you know, people are starting to see it. I'm sure her subs will start to see it. Her views are dropping. So I'm sure that a lot of her subs over there have woken up and unsubscribed and just not watched anymore, because we obviously just see the same repetitive stuff. Her treat her four kids like crap, or her favorite, the one shot and take them out to eat, and that's all we ever see on the channel. And I just think at this point, she does need to start losing views, not only views, but subscribers. People need to start calling her out even more. I know the reactors, you know, we've seen all the main reactors react on her, but I think Jazzy needs to go even further and be reacted on by other YouTube sectors, because this girl is just out of control. And at this point, she just blatantly does it, and she doesn't care who sees. She just can't hide the miserableness and the sadness that she has to deal with those four kids. And I really pray that those four kids, you know, truly get removed from that home one way or another, because at this point, we know that Chris doesn't want them there because he's never there when they're there. And now at this point, Jazzy doesn't even want them there even more. And it's just like, sis, why are they even there? What, so you could collect the benefits, the SSI checks, or whatever supposedly that you're getting for them? It's sick, it's sad, and I really pray for those kids. I really do. And y'all comment down below what you guys think, your thoughts and opinions on this. I just couldn't believe it when I seen the live, and I knew that at some point she would come live miserable as hell that she had them there, but y'all know it's nothing new. She just wants Chris there, and I guarantee you that when she gets old, she's gonna wish that she had those four babies there to take care of her, because there's gonna come a time where she does need those four kids, and they're not gonna be there for her because they remember all the times she pushed them out of that house just for that man. I'm not even gonna say man, that bum. But y'all comment down below. I love hearing your thoughts and opinions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for another one.
Tell me what you see in me. Gotta be something different.